Battle of identity. How can Hispanics in the U.S. maintain their cultural legacy? My research statement was that Hispanics are gradually assimilating to the U.S. They slowly lose sense of importance in their culture and gain U.S. culture. Natalie Moreno, a Hispanic English major at Florida Southern College, said that ethno-cultural identity, which is a sense of belonging to a certain culture or ethnicity group, is the social construct of our society. And as Hispanics assimilate to the U.S., they lose this construct of who they are. I connect this to the stimulus in many ways. Two prime examples of how I did this, though, was first of all through Saliendad and Latinidad, the 1990s by Deborah Paredes, which talks about Selena Quintanilla and her connection to the Hispanic culture, and then also this abandoned classroom picture by Seth Wallace, which I'll explain later in the presentation. There are three main aspects of every culture. First of all, there's language, which for Hispanics is Spanish. There's traditions, which consist of music, food, and festivals. And then finally, there's leaders, who help shape the culture and give young children something to aspire to. Two very prominent examples of a Hispanic leader would be Selena Quintanilla with her music, and then also Cesar Chavez with his civil rights movements. Everyone else on this slide is also a very esteemed Hispanic leader. And there are also so many more leaders we can think about. My first example is this birth certificate of my great-grandma. As you can see from the red circles, she was born Mexican, but she was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Through this, her family was so afraid of being deported that they changed their ethnicity and lied about where they came from. They said that they were from Spain because Spain was socially accepted in the U.S. at the time. This got so bad that as my great-grandma grew up and gave birth to my grandma, she taught her nothing about their culture. This is my second set of evidence. This graph from Pew Research, taken by Mark Hugo Lopez, who specializes in race and ethnicity research, has two polls, both starting off with self-identified Hispanics, which the polls are taken from. The first poll is Hispanics who speak Spanish, and then Hispanics who have a Hispanic last name. As you can see, going from foreign-born down to third and on generation, there's a big difference. For speaking Spanish, it's 41-7, and then also for Hispanic last name, it's 20-7, which is a very large leap. And again, this is just of self-identified Hispanics. Now, how are Hispanics in the U.S. losing their sense of importance and their cultural identity? Well, first of all, there's a lack of education in the U.S. school system. In elementary school and middle schools, kids aren't being taught anything about their culture. Even when kids get up to high schools, the only thing they're learning is still their language, unless they're going to a private school or even maybe a charter school. This picture by Seth Wallace of the abandoned classroom exemplifies this very well, as it shows how Hispanic education system is being forgotten in the U.S., and kids are forgetting their cultural heritage. Next is peer pressure. Professor Andrea Bica in the Department of Applied Psychology and Psychotherapy at the University of Bucharest did an experiment called the Prisoner Dilemma. In this experiment, she controlled her participants through an economic viewpoint by giving them money. Her participants either could cooperate with the others or detach from the others, based off the rules of the experiment and the pressures put on by their peers. This is the exact same in the U.S. society, where Hispanics are being forced to follow the rules called the social norms, and then also being pressured by their peers such as friends, classmates, co-workers, and neighbors. A great example of this that we can all see in our daily life is at a party. If everybody's drinking alcohol, this sets up the social norm. And then your friends are trying to get you to drink alcohol, which sets up the peer pressure caused by someone close to you. This is the exact way for Hispanics, because if you don't have a strong belief in what you believe, then you're going to succumb to drinking alcohol. Just like if Hispanics don't have a strong foundation in their culture, they're going to succumb to conforming to U.S. culture. And then finally, social anxiety. Dr. Lauren Hensley Molina, PhD in psychology at Stanford University, says that Hispanics already have a higher chance of having SAD, which is social anxiety disorder. So, as Hispanics are being pressured and laughed at by other people, they go through severe mental trauma. And to avoid this, Hispanics just conform to U.S. culture so they don't have to deal with this mental pain. What are some solutions to this problem? Well, first of all, we can look at everybody by who they are and not how they look or act. Secondly, we can treat others by how you want to be treated. Would you like to be laughed at because your skin color is different or because you eat different food? No, you wouldn't. So why would you laugh at others for that? Then finally, we can keep others accountable. If we keep our friends and family accountable, it starts to spread like a chain through our nation. And one day, and my hope is that we'll make it to a day where we won't have to worry about being made fun of, because each of us will have an accountability partner that will keep us accountable for our actions. This is my first side.
Okay, thank you. Kiernan, can you tell me what information did you need that you couldn't find?
Information that I needed that I couldn't find was more about peer pressure. I struggled to find a lot of research articles about that, which I really wanted to find more scientific background behind it for more of an emphasis on what I was talking about. Yeah.
And what additional questions emerged from your research? And why are those important?
Additional questions that emerged from my research was, how is this happening with all the other cultures? I was just focusing on Hispanic culture and didn't really think about how, say, the Japanese could be affected by this as they come into the U.S. This is important because there's a lot of people to think about in our society.
Okay, thank you.